Hi, and welcome to the Spirit of 76 Museum. I'm Becky Norton, and I'm here with Jenny Arntz, the director of Main Street Wellington. I've chosen to pick a couple of interesting objects to show you in this video, and I think one of the ones that's the most fascinating to a lot of people, and there's a lot of people in Wellington that remember this piece, is the shoe X-ray fluoroscope machine. And you may be wondering what that is. Well, this machine x-rayed your feet so that your mom and dad could see if the shoes fit properly, if your toes had enough room, or if they were cramped up. And you would stand on the other side here and put your foot in here, and then you could look in here to see your foot, and your mom and dad could look in here, so that all three of you could look at the same time. And of course, because it was so fascinating, you would be wiggling your toes and doing all kinds of crazy things, and your parents would be saying, "Stand still so we can see if your shoes fit or not." Now, there's several people that remember being kids here in Wellington that after school, one of their favorite things to do was to run into the shoe store and stick their foot underneath to see their bones. I don't know if it was really safe or not, but
yeah,
they have since been outlawed, of course. And I wish it still worked, because I think it would be really cool to be able to see my feet. So I can understand the fascination that kids would have with this when they went to get a pair of shoes. So that's what I wanted to show you today, and we have a few other objects that I would like to show you also. So follow me over here to our, I call it the general store display, because I wanted to have some things that you would have seen over a period of time that you might have been able to go into the general store and buy. And so you can see the men's vests that we have. You can see the beautiful, beautiful water pitcher and bowl that you would have used to wash up in the morning. A child's chemise that we have here. Here's another one for an older child. This is a placemat that might have been used, and you can see the delicate work here. This is all crocheted work. You can see that, all hand done. I'm trying to learn how to do.
That's kind of a lost art.
I'm into doilies. I haven't tried to do this yet, and as you can see down here, we have some glassware, some dinnerware on down farther, and some flatware that we have. Some of the flatware is a little bit fancier than others, but it's some things that you might have found in a general store when you went in, because being a general store, they would have general things that you might find.
Oh, and a Montgomery Ward's catalog. I remember Mother calling it monkey words.
Well, one thing that I found when we were doing some changing around in the museum here was this object. And I really couldn't figure out what this object was for the longest time. And as I was moving it, it was going into storage before it came back out again. I was looking at it, and all of a sudden it fell open. And this is what I saw. So immediately I thought, aha, we have a spoon mold here. Now you have to remember that back in the early days, you were far away from any kind of stores. You did not have Amazon delivery. You didn't have any of those kinds of things. So you had to have things that you could be self-sufficient with. And this is one of those things. So what they would do is they would melt down the metal. And I'm not exactly sure all of the metal content. I know that this kind of flatware had nickel in it. These are not pewter, but they're not silver either. So it's some kind of an alloy with nickel, and I think there's probably some silver in it also. If you don't get the right kind of metal content, then you know how when you get really cheap flatware, you have that metallic taste. So they would have a metal that they could use, and they would clamp this together tightly. And here's the place where you would pour the melted metal in, and you would wait until this cooled off, and then you would open it up. Oh, got caught. And you would take the spoon out, And you would say to yourself, well, how in the world would you eat this with this spoon, with this sticking out and everything? Well, of course, you had a grindstone, and you would polish it, grind it down so this part would come off and all of the rough edges would come off till eventually you had your nice spoon to use that looked like this. Now, if your child happened to take your spoon out and dig in the ground and ruin your spoon, which probably would not be a very good thing, you could take it, you can melt it down, and you can make another one. So no harm, no foul. But this is one of my favorite things because I always think about bullets being molded back in the day, but I never thought about a spoon mold. And so that's one of my favorite things in the museum. Thank you.